Hey y'all. So we have another faux spring day here in New England. And so in today's video, I'm taking y'all with me in the yard because there's a lot that I can get done and there's a lot I plan to get done. So yeah, just let's go. So last year I bought some wood chips and I let them sit for a year, and as a result they started to break down. And at first I thought it was a bad thing, but then I realized there's some research that these wood chips breaking down become organic matter, and it actually feeds the soil. And I'm probably going to do no I actually am going to do another video on how I'm going to be using these wood chips, not just to create add organic matter to my garden beds, but also how I'm going to use it to build my soil. Soil here is pretty sandy, and so I'm just really trying to put as much organic matter into it as possible, and let it do its thing. So when these were originally delivered, they were in the front part of the property, and so we had to haul them wheelbarrow by wheelbarrow to the back. And now yet again I'm hauling them and moving them to different parts of the yard. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is moving these wood chips to what's going to be the flower bed. It is the flower bed. Actually, I grew flowers in this area last year, and I want to do the same again this year. But the plan is to create, is to spread this out and to layer it, right? So, somewhat of a hugelkultur-esque sort of garden bed. It's not necessarily that, but it'll be just rich with organic matter. Here we have some grapevines, and as you can see, these are, I call them my road grapevines. They were here, they've probably been here for a very long time, and whoever lived here over the years, they planted a tree close to it. So I just think that they cut it down and thought that by cutting it down that would kill it, but it didn't. I think they're muscadine grapes. And so this trellis here, someone once grew grapes, and my plan is to try to create a small trellis and see if I can train them to not go so wild. Maybe even give them some fertilizer in the spring to really see what can happen. So I'm thinking about putting some T-posts on the side, and then just some fencing to see if that can help it to come back. Yeah, because I'm sure my neighbors will love that, because when I tell you rogue, I mean, this grapevine goes everywhere. So I'm really going to see what's possible, especially given the fact that it's so close to this shrub, which is ornamental, and it does provide nice shade. But a part of me is wondering if I should just trim it back this year to see, because it'll come back next year. But I'm wondering if I should just like liberally prune it to give this grapevine a chance. So here I am pruning for the first time my blueberries. They came in. I planted them last year, and they feel really well rooted. And so I watched another video to figure out how to prune it, and so I was instructed to prune off like the fruiting parts, any dead branches, anything that just doesn't look healthy. And so if you all have any other tips about pruning blueberry bushes, just let me know. But I think I did an okay job. It's gonna grow regardless. But I just inspecting every tree and just taking my time. And I think that is going to be fine regardless. And y'all know we cannot complete the cleaning of a yard until I address my garbage pan compost bins. um, and I got to show y'all something. So, first I want to start, and it was so warm that there were no frozen spots. I mean, it was just so rich. And the truth of the matter is, regardless of the fact that I am composting and I am going to use this compost, um, I'm still going to have to buy some. It's going to take a long time for me to, decompose enough stuff to fill up my whole garden. But look at this, y'all. Look at this. It's just beautiful. And at some point, I'm going to sift it. It's unfinished. And if I'm doing a sort of hugelkultur inspired garden bed, I could just put this in there and then top it off with some topsoil. But I definitely want to test it by putting a few seeds and things that you can look for. The smell, it doesn't stink. It smells really, really nice. Just the smell of just earth. And so um, I'm really excited about how it's going, and I'm just like, this is what you can get in your trash can, y'all. A trash can, right? So, or a garbage can, whatever you call it. This is what you can. This is what can happen. And I'll tell you, like when I was living back home in New Orleans with my son when he was much younger, I took a more like a thicker trash can and did the same thing. And y'all, I threw a mango seed back there, and and I would dig up worms, put them in there. When I tell you, it was a colony of worms, and there was a plant, something coming out of something, and I pulled it out, and it was connected to a mango seed. It was a mango tree, and I planted that tree. Eventually, a frost killed it, but that's the magic. So I'm gonna show y'all the other compost bin. It's still in its beginning stages, but um it's a little dry, and so I'm going to add the compost that I have here to it, to just wet up a little bit. But then I need to add some water to my bucket, and then add a little bit just more water to it because it's dry. And you can have too many wets, and you can tell by the smell, or it could be too dry, as we can see here. It just it needs a little bit more moisture to get things moving and shaking. Okay, so um, I have not planted, I've spread out the wood chips in the different areas where I'm going to build my beds. Those are the blueberries. Um, and I have these two, I think this is 5 by 3. I'm not sure, I have to remeasure it. But I'm going to build the bed around it. And I could always just use a garden hoe to like move the chips a little bit more in. Um, and I'm going to layer it with like some compost and some topsoil, and I'm going to plant in there as it is, and probably like some fertilizer. Um, I have my, garden beds that are already established. I planted, there's a lot of herbs in this one. I planted tomato. Was it tomatoes? I don't remember what I planted in here. I'm gonna have to look at some old photos. But I'm also planning to add wood chips to these garden beds as well, so that can break down, and I can just add more soil and more compost, etc. And eventually, that's just going to break down and just be really rich soil. I feel like that garden bed on the left did very well last year, and part of it is because at the bottom there, I put some logs, and the logs had turkey tail mushrooms on it. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. It was a very happy bed. I had amaranth in it. I mean, when I tell you, it was just so lush. It was beautiful. And as I told you, I have added some wood chips to the different beds so that it can break down and become organic matter. And yeah, I'm going to show you the last after I was pooped. My body was like, girl, we're gonna stop. So look, the layer is thicker, right? And so that's probably about 4 or 5 inches of this pile. And then I'm gonna probably do another 2 to 3 inches of compost, or some sort of compost blend. Some people are saying like you could do manure, a cow manure, aged manure, but I don't know. It smells. So I might do something else. And I left the strawberry beds as they were, and I added some wood chips, as I had said I would do, to both of these beds. We still haven't quite made it to spring yet. Oh, I also added some leaves later on. I came back and watered those. Um, Probably shouldn't have because it rained for 2 days straight, but I just wanted to really get in wood there. Chips, some of it's still frozen, but this is a shot of everything that I completed today. I didn't change and everything. So I didn't get a chance to get to the grapevines today, which is fine. Um, Moving wood chips is exhausting. Even though this is not quite wood chips, it's decomposed wood chips, so they're lighter. But you know, I probably moved between 10 and 15 barrels today, wheelbarrow fulls today. Um, you know, got to work out feeling good. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and